the day the Council witnessed humanity's civil mode turn off in real time. The humans in the Council chamber were always judged not by their words but by how carefully they controlled themselves. Today, they would be tested in a way no human had ever been before. Around him, the alien delegates whispered and clicked their claws, scales, or tentacles. Each of them looked at the humans as if they were children playing in a room they did not understand. Lucas looked across the chamber at the council president, a tall, blue-skinned being with 4 eyes and a long crest running down his back. President Varlon was a creature who took pride in seeing others as weak. "So, humans," Varlon said, his voice echoing through the chamber, "you claim to be civilized, but your history is full of war and destruction. How do you expect us to trust you in galactic affairs?" Lucas smiled politely. "President Varlon, we have our flaws, yes, but every civilization has made mistakes. What makes humans different is that we learn and adapt. That is why we are here today, to demonstrate that we can cooperate peacefully, even under pressure." The other delegates made soft clicking sounds. Some of the smaller species, tiny floating orbs of light, hovered nervously, afraid that the humans might suddenly explode with anger. The large, armored Varkin to Lucas left snorted, a sound like grinding metal. "Learn and adapt," it said. "Your words mean nothing. Show us your patience. Show us your obedience. We doubt it exists." Lucas nodded as if accepting a challenge. He did not flinch. Around him, his team of human aides, Leela Turner, Maya Collins, and Eric Allen, stood silently behind the human delegates' table. Leela was the youngest, barely 29, but her eyes were sharp. She noticed the subtle signs, the twitch in a human hand, the quick glance between 2 delegates, the almost invisible tightening of a jaw. Humans were calm on the surface, but their emotions ran deep. That was the secret of their power. Varlon leaned forward. "We have a question. If humans are so capable, why do you insist on peaceful negotiations when violence is often faster? Why do you insist on cooperation when the galaxy rewards strength?" Lucas took a deep breath. "Because strength without control is chaos. Humans have survived and grown not because we dominate others by force, but because we understand limits. We can be patient. We can be disciplined. And today, you will see just how far that discipline goes." The chamber was silent. Some delegates whispered among themselves. Others tilted their heads in confusion. None could understand how humans could speak of patience and discipline as if it were a weapon. A small, green-scaled delegate named Trivan hovered closer. Its voice was high-pitched and sharp. "And if that discipline fails? If humans lose control, how will you survive the galaxy? You will be crushed." Lucas looked directly at Trivan. "If discipline fails, we adapt. That is what humans have always done. But I assure you it will not fail here." For hours the council debated, though most of it was talking around humans rather than to them. The aliens argued about trade, military cooperation, and interstellar law. Lucas listened quietly, his hands folded. Occasionally he nodded or made a small comment, always polite. But Leela could see the tension building. Humans were trained to hold their composure, but even the best training has limits. During a break, Lucas stepped aside with Leela and Maya. "Do you feel it?" he asked quietly. Leela nodded. "Yes." Everyone is pushing, trying to provoke a reaction. The sensors show that civil mode is holding, but barely. One wrong word and it could snap. Maya frowned. "You mean they'll attack?" Lucas shook his head. "No, not attack. Humans don't need to attack to be dangerous. It is enough for them to remove the filters, to speak freely, to think clearly without pretending. That is what will shock the council. That is what they have never seen before." The human delegates returned to the chamber as the council session resumed. The president called for procedural votes, and the debate turned to the humans' participation in galactic affairs. Delegates from older civilizations, those with thousands of years of experience, smiled condescendingly. They assumed humans would make mistakes, would react emotionally, would beg for acceptance. Lucas listened as Varkan delegates argued that humans were too impulsive to manage interstellar trade routes. The floating light orbs whispered that humans could never understand advanced galactic law. The long-armed Yelvar race suggested that humans be limited to observation only. Lucas raised his hand calmly. "If I may," he said, "humans do not fear responsibility. We do not fear scrutiny. What we fear is wasting time. And right now, every word of this debate is unnecessary. The facts are clear. We have survived, thrived, and built civilizations from nothing. Our technology, our culture, our diplomacy, all show our capability. You will see that today if you are willing to look." The council murmured. Some delegates laughed softly. Others clicked their tongues in irritation. They did not understand. Humans' calm was not weakness. It was patience beyond imagination. Varlan raised his 4 eyes toward Lucas. "And what proof do you offer? Words are cheap. We want demonstration." Lucas smiled. "Patience is proof enough. But if you wish, you will see more than words today. Observe closely. Watch human composure. Watch how we operate under provocation. That is the proof you seek." The rest of the session became a test. Each alien delegate took turns making subtle insults or challenges. The Varkan delegate leaned over and commented on the humans' small size and fragility. Trivan whispered that humans' thinking was primitive. A Yelvar delegate suggested that human negotiations were illogical. Every time, Lucas and the humans remained calm. Hands rested lightly on tables, faces neutral, voices polite. But Leela could see the tiny signs. Fists unclenched, jaws tightened, eyes focused more sharply. Humans were still in control, but the calm was deliberate, calculated, and strong. It was like holding back a river with bare hands. Hours passed and tension rose. At one point, a small mistake in translation led to a heated exchange between 2 alien delegates. Voices rose, scales rattled, tentacles flicked. Humans remained silent. They could have joined the argument, they could have defended themselves. But Lucas stayed quiet, letting the chaos build around him. Leela leaned close to him. "They are testing us. They want to see if the mask slips." Lucas nodded. "Yes, but the mask will hold until the right moment. You cannot rush it. The moment we switch, they will understand why humans are never underestimated." The council president called for the final vote of the session. The aliens were prepared to restrict humans' influence, to limit their participation. Some whispered that humans would beg for acceptance or make some mistake that would justify punishment. Lucas rose slowly. "President Varlan," he said. His voice was calm, steady, and polite, but there was an underlying weight to it. "We accept the vote. We respect your procedure, but let me remind you, humans are not defined by limits set by others. We choose our own limits. Today you have seen our patience. Tomorrow you will see what lies beneath it." A strange silence filled the chamber. The aliens looked at each other in confusion. Some thought Lucas was bluffing. Others felt an unspoken power radiating from the humans that they could not comprehend. The session ended. Delegates filed out, whispering nervously. Humans remained seated until the last alien left. Only then did Lucas, Leela, and Maya gather their papers. They walked slowly toward the exit, calm and polite, though the air around them seemed charged. Outside the chamber, the observation deck overlooked the neutral star hub. Lights from distant planets twinkled. Lucas leaned on the railing. "Do you feel it?" he asked. Leela smiled faintly. "I feel it every time. They don't understand that humans are patient for a reason. We do not act without purpose, and that makes us dangerous in ways they cannot see." Maya added quietly, "Soon they will. Soon they will realize why humans survive when others fail. Not because we are stronger or faster, but because we are deliberate, controlled, and we know when to act." Lucas looked down at the stars, thinking of Earth, of home. Humans had survived catastrophes, wars, plagues, and every challenge imaginable. They had built civilizations not by brute force but by endurance, adaptability, and intelligence. And now the galaxy would finally witness a piece of that power, not through violence, not through conquest, but through patience and calculated restraint. As the human team left the observation deck, Leela whispered, "Tomorrow, we show them the next level. The real human side." Lucas smiled without turning. "Yes, tomorrow they will see what happens when humans stop pretending. They will see the full weight of what we can do, and how our civil mode is not a weakness but a weapon." The stars shone brightly as the humans departed. The council had watched, intrigued but unaware. They thought the humans had merely survived another session through politeness. They had no idea that the calm they observed was just the surface of a power that few species in the galaxy could imagine. The next morning, the council chamber was alive with tension again. The aliens arrived earlier than usual, their movements sharp and careful. Each of them seemed determined to provoke the humans, to test the limits they had seen the day before. Lucas Hayes and his team entered quietly, calm and collected. They walked slowly to their seats, as if they had all the time in the galaxy. Lucas noticed the small things first. The way the Varkan delegate tapped its claws on the table, the Yelvar delegate flicking its tentacles in impatience, the floating light orbs shifting nervously in the air. Every gesture was designed to push humans into reacting. Leela Turner whispered, "They are trying to get under our skin, be careful. The sensors show human patience is almost at the limit." Lucas nodded. "We don't react, we control. Let them learn the hard way what humans are capable of." The session began with the usual formalities, but the mood was different. The aliens were sharper, more aggressive. They challenged every word, every gesture of the humans. Trivan, the green-scaled delegate, started first. "Humans, you claim to be wise. Yet your last planetary war killed millions. How can you say you are disciplined?" Lucas stayed calm. "Trivan, every civilization has its history of conflict. Humans have survived countless wars because we learn and adapt. Discipline is not the absence of mistakes but the ability to control ourselves and make better choices." Trivan hissed, clearly annoyed. "Your patience will fail. We can feel it. It is only a matter of time." Leela glanced at Lucas. "It's not just patience. They are trying to break the human mind. Every insult, every slight, it is all meant to provoke a reaction." Lucas leaned back, folding his hands. "Then let them try. The moment they see what happens if humans lose control, they will understand that patience is not weakness." The council president Varlon cleared his throat. "We have heard your words, human, but words are cheap. We require demonstration. Let us see how you handle this situation." And so the real test began. The aliens started to push harder, each using the tools they knew humans could not resist. Some insults were obvious. Others were small, subtle, designed to make humans question themselves. The floating light orbs whispered that human thinking was simple. The Varkan tapped its claws on the table, mocking human patience. The Yelvar questioned every move the humans had made in galactic trade. Lucas responded each time with calm, careful words. He never raised his voice. His tone was steady, polite, and unshakable. Maya Collins sat beside him, recording every response. Even when a Varkan delegate leaned close and hissed, "You are small, fragile. You cannot survive our galaxy," Lucas only nodded and said, "Size is not strength. Endurance, intelligence, and patience are far more powerful." But beneath the surface, Leela noticed the tiny signs. Small twitches in fingers, quick breaths, the tightening of jaw muscles. Humans were still in control, but they were aware of every slight, every test. Every insult built a pressure the aliens could not feel themselves. Hours passed like this. The council debated, argued, and provoked. At one point, a translation error caused a minor misunderstanding between two alien races. Voices rose, claws clicked, tentacles flicked. Lucas did not move. The humans did not move. The chamber grew tense. Every alien delegate could feel the calm strength of the humans pressing against them. Layla leaned closer to Lucas. They don't understand. The humans are holding, but if the mask slips even a little, the chamber will feel it. Lucas nodded. They will see it soon. This is the moment before change. They will never forget it. Then, the session turned toward a vote. Some delegates whispered that humans should have limited participation in trade and law. Others suggested that humans be allowed to observe but never make decisions. The aliens were confident. They assumed humans would argue, beg, or make a mistake. Lucas listened quietly. When his turn came, he spoke in calm, clear words. "We accept your vote. We respect your procedures. But we also remind you, humans do not fear responsibility. We do not fear judgment. What you see as limits are choices we make ourselves. You will see soon enough what happens when humans choose differently." The chamber went silent. Alien delegates looked at each other. Some clicked in confusion. They thought Lucas was bluffing. Others felt something strange, a presence they could not explain. It was not anger, it was control. It was power restrained. Trivan floated closer again. "Words are meaningless. Show us. Show us your discipline." Lucas leaned slightly forward. Discipline is not what you see in anger or aggression. Discipline is the ability to remain clear, precise, and strong even when tested. You will see it today if you pay attention. The rest of the session became a tense game. Every alien delegate tried to provoke a reaction. Every insult, every challenge, every small gesture was designed to push the humans beyond their limits. Leela watched carefully. They are testing the humans at a level they cannot survive. They do not understand that humans can hold far longer than any other race. Lucas smiled faintly. "Exactly. And soon they will see why humans survive when others fail, not through speed or strength but through endurance, intelligence, and patience." At one point, a Varkan delegate made a direct threat. "We will not allow humans to decide the fate of interstellar trade. You are not capable. You are impulsive. You will fail." Lucas responded calmly, but every word carried weight. "Threats are unnecessary. Humans make decisions based on reason and understanding. Impulsiveness may exist in others, but we choose our actions carefully. That is why humans endure, and that is why humans are respected even by those who fear us." The aliens whispered among themselves. Some were clearly disturbed. Others were angry but could not articulate why. Something about the calm, steady humans made them uneasy. Leela whispered to Lucas, "They cannot measure it. They do not know what they are facing. They think patience is weakness. They will learn differently." Lucas nodded. "Yes, soon they will understand. And when they do, the galaxy will never underestimate humanity again." The council president called for the final part of the session, a discussion of human involvement in galactic law. Aliens expected humans to beg or argue. Instead, Lucas spoke clearly, without emotion but with undeniable authority. He laid out facts, strategies, and reasoning in a way that exposed weaknesses in alien procedures without attacking anyone directly. Maya Collins noticed the effect immediately. The room went quiet. Tentacles stopped flicking, claws stopped tapping, even the floating light orbs seemed to pause. Every alien delegate felt a subtle pressure, a sense of clarity and purpose they had never experienced from humans before. Lucas finished his presentation. "We do not demand trust. We earn it, and we do so not through fear but through endurance, intelligence, and the ability to act when needed. Today, we have demonstrated patience. Tomorrow, you will see what humans can do when no longer restrained." The chamber erupted into whispers. Aliens looked at each other nervously. They had never seen a species so calm yet so powerful. They had never felt words delivered with such weight. Some began to question their assumptions. Others felt fear, though they could not understand why. After the session ended, the humans left the chamber quietly. No cheers, no celebration, just calm movement and polite acknowledgement of others. But the effect lingered. Aliens whispered in corners. some openly admitting that humans were more dangerous than they had thought. Outside the chamber, Lucas, Leela, and Maya walked along the observation deck. Stars stretched endlessly across the sky, and the hub of neutral planets sparkled below. Leela broke the silence. They have never seen humans like this. They thought our patience was weakness. They will realize soon that it is strength beyond measure. Lucas looked out at the stars. Strength without control is chaos. Control without strength is useless. Humans have both, and the galaxy will see it, not in anger, not in violence, but in clarity and purpose. Maya added, "Do you think they understand even now?" Lucas shook his head. "No, not yet, but they will. When humans stop pretending, when we remove the mask, they will understand why no one in the galaxy underestimates us. Patience is the first lesson. The next will be even clearer." The three humans moved quietly along the deck, leaving the council chamber behind. Aliens watched them go, some nervously, some in disbelief. They had tested humans, and humans had not faltered. That in itself was terrifying. For the humans, the session was just another day. Calm, deliberate, and patient. But under the surface, the potential for action was limitless. The galaxy had underestimated humans for too long, and soon it would learn the truth. Leela whispered one last time. "Tomorrow we show them what happens when patience meets precision. They will remember it forever." Lucas smiled faintly. "Yes, and the moment will be theirs to witness. Humanity's civil mode may hold now, but when it stops, everything changes. They will finally understand why humans endure, why humans survive, and why humans are never defeated when they choose to act." The stars reflected in Lucas' eyes as the humans left the observation deck. The aliens had seen calm. They had seen patience. But they had not seen the full measure of human power yet. And soon they would. The council chamber was unusually quiet as the session began. Alien delegates had arrived early, but this time there was a tension in the air unlike before. The previous days had tested humans' patience, but today the council would witness something entirely different. Lucas Hayes and his team entered calmly as always. Their footsteps were measured, their expressions neutral, yet a subtle energy radiated from them. President Varlon looked at Lucas with narrowed eyes. "Humans," he said, "your patience is impressive, but words are only words. We have tested you, and yet you remain calm. It is time to demonstrate the limits of your discipline. Let us see if you can maintain it under extreme provocation." Lucas nodded politely. "We will respond as we always have, with respect and clarity. But you should understand one thing: patience is not weakness. It is a choice." The session began with alien delegates speaking in rapid succession, louder and sharper than ever. The Varkan delegate made an offensive remark about humans' intelligence, implying they were only capable of simple thought. Trivan, the green-scaled alien, accused humans of hiding behind tricks and deceit. A Yelvar delegate implied humans could not be trusted with any serious decisions. Lucas listened to each statement carefully. His voice remained calm when he responded, precise and neutral. "Every civilization has limits," he said, "but humans have learned to control themselves. That control is our strength. We make choices deliberately, not impulsively. You will see that clearly today." Leela Turner observed him closely. "Lucas, I can feel it. The civil mode is holding, but just barely. They are pushing harder than ever. One wrong move and it could break." Lucas nodded. "Let them push. They will see the truth in a moment. Patience has a breaking point, and when it is reached, clarity follows." The galaxy has never witnessed that. For the first few hours, the aliens continued to provoke, using small and large challenges. Some insults were direct, some subtle, meant to confuse the humans or make them question themselves. The council chamber, which usually echoed with chatter, became charged with tension. Every word the humans spoke carried weight, even though their tone never rose. Maya Collins leaned slightly toward Lucas. "Do you think they understand? The room feels different today." "They will understand soon enough," Lucas replied quietly. "Humans endure in ways others cannot, and when restraint ends, everyone sees the full measure of it." The first sign came from a small incident. A Varkan delegate tapped its claws on the table repeatedly while glaring at the humans. The tapping was fast and aggressive, a clear attempt to irritate. Luca's jaw tightened for just a moment, a tiny motion, almost imperceptible. Leela noticed it immediately. "They are sensing it," she whispered. "The pressure is increasing. The humans are close to releasing the mask." Lucas kept his posture steady. "Let them feel the calm before the storm. That is the power they cannot comprehend." Another delegate, a floating light orb named Cyril, began to speak in a rapid series of high-pitched notes. The content was confusing, intended to overwhelm the human delegates. Lucas responded without hesitation, parsing the meaning, answering each point clearly and logically. His voice never wavered, but the council could feel a subtle shift. Even the aliens who had observed humans for centuries felt it. Something had changed. The calm was no longer just politeness. There was intent behind it, focus. A strength that radiated quietly yet filled the chamber. Trivan hissed, frustrated. "Enough words, your calm cannot last forever, we can see it, soon it will fail." Lucas finally leaned forward just slightly. His tone remained measured. "You underestimate humans. Calm is our nature when we choose it, but control does not limit our power, it contains it. You will see what happens when that containment ends, but only because you pushed us to this point." For the first time, the council noticed something remarkable. The humans were still calm, yet a low hum of energy seemed to emanate from them. It was subtle, almost invisible, but undeniable. Devices in the chamber that measured energy spikes registered faint but clear waves. Delegates whispered among themselves, unsure what it meant. Leela whispered to Lucas, "They are beginning to feel it. The chamber is picking up something unusual. It is not anger but force, presence, strength." Lucas nodded slightly. "Exactly. They cannot measure it with their devices. Only by witnessing it can they understand. Patience is the first stage. The next will be undeniable." The council continued to push. One of the older delegates, a tall being with multiple arms, accused humans of lying about their military capabilities. Another accused them of pretending to be peaceful while secretly preparing for war. Lucas responded as always, calmly and politely, but each word cut through the aliens' defenses. He spoke with clarity, exposing gaps in their arguments without insult or threat. A Varkan delegate finally snapped. "You cannot maintain this calm forever. You are fragile. You will fail." Lucas remained seated. He smiled faintly. "Calm is not failure. Calm is choice, and humans choose to act with purpose. You will see what that purpose looks like when patience ends." Then it happened. A minor incident, almost accidental, became the turning point. One of the alien delegates, attempting to intimidate, slammed its claws on the table so hard that a small vibration ran through the chamber. Normally, humans would have absorbed the insult quietly, but now something changed. Luca's hand, resting lightly on the table, clenched slightly. His eyes sharpened. The energy in the room shifted. Leela and Maya exchanged a glance, knowing the moment had arrived. Lucas spoke again, but this time his voice carried weight that was impossible to ignore. Every word struck with precision. "Enough. The Council has tested humans for days, expecting weakness, expecting errors. You have not understood anything. Humans are patient, yes, but patience is not weakness. It is power restrained. And today you are seeing it begin to release." The chamber went silent. Alien delegates froze in place. They could feel the shift without understanding it. Something in the humans had changed. The calm, polite faces had not moved, but their presence was undeniable, pressing outward like a tide. Maya Collins whispered, almost in awe, "It's happening. They are feeling it now. Real human strength." Lucas continued, his voice steady, his tone calm but filled with authority. Every insult, every challenge, every test you imposed was observed and noted. Humans do not act without reason. We do not react without thought. What you perceive as civility is control. That control can be turned off, and when it is, clarity emerges. Precision, purpose, and strength, not chaos but power refined, appear. That time is now approaching. The Varkan delegate's claws clicked nervously. Triven's scales shimmered with uncertainty. The light orbs flickered as if confused. Every alien present could feel the shift in subtle waves. None could measure it, none could counter it. Leela leaned closer to Lucas. They don't understand yet. The room is buzzing. It's like they can sense energy but cannot see it. Lucas smiled faintly. They will see, not in anger, not in violence, but in the quiet clarity of purpose. Humans endure because we control ourselves. And when control is removed, what remains is pure capability, focus, strategy, truth. That is the gift of humanity that no one has ever truly witnessed. The session continued, but the tone had changed completely. Aliens spoke more cautiously now. Every challenge, every insult was met with calm, deliberate answers. The words were polite, but each carried a weight the council had never encountered. Arguments that once seemed clever were dismantled with logic and precision, without a single raised voice. President Varlon finally leaned back, a flicker of worry in his 4 eyes. You are unlike any species we have faced. Your calm, it carries weight. How is this possible? Lucas replied with the same calm tone he had used all day. Patience is a choice. Control is a tool. The galaxy has never seen a species master them like humans do. That is why humans endure, why humans survive, and why humans are never defeated when we choose to act. Even the older delegates who had studied humans for decades could not fully comprehend it. They whispered to each other, trying to explain what they were witnessing. Some suspected devices in the chamber were malfunctioning. Others felt fear they could not name. Leela watched quietly, knowing that this was only the beginning. Tomorrow they will see the full release. Today is just the first wave. Lucas nodded. Yes. Today they feel the edge. Tomorrow they will see the truth. Civil mode is a gift. When removed, the galaxy will understand why humans endure beyond imagination. The session ended with the aliens leaving slowly, some nervously, some in disbelief. Humans remained seated until the last alien left, moving only when all attention had turned elsewhere. Outside the chamber, the human team walked along the observation deck. Stars stretched endlessly across the sky, and the hub of neutral planets sparkled below. Maya broke the silence. They don't know what just happened. They feel it, but they cannot understand it. They have never experienced humans like this. Lucas smiled faintly. They will understand. One day they will remember this session. They will feel it again, even if they cannot explain it. That is the power of human patience and the power of its release. Leela whispered, tomorrow we will show them even more. They will not forget it, not ever. Lucas looked out at the stars. Yes, humanity endures. Humanity survives, and humanity will never be underestimated. The 3 humans left the observation deck quietly. Aliens watched them, still sensing the presence they could not measure, still confused by the calm strength they could not name. For the humans, it was just another day. Calm, deliberate, and patient. But beneath the surface, potential waited, limitless, precise, and powerful. And soon, the galaxy would witness it in full. The next council session began with a strange air of tension. Alien delegates entered cautiously, some whispering to each other, their voices low and nervous. Even those who had observed humans for decades seemed uneasy. Lucas Hayes and his team entered last, walking slowly, deliberately, calm as ever. Their faces showed no sign of fear, no sign of strain, only quiet confidence. President Varlon's 4 eyes narrowed. Humans, he said, yesterday you showed restraint. Today we will test your limits further. You have remained calm under pressure, but how far can you hold this patience? Prove that your calm is not temporary. Lucas nodded. We will respond as always with clarity and precision, but understand one thing, restraint is a choice. And when restraint ends, what remains is clear and deliberate power. The session began with the aliens immediately testing the humans more aggressively. The Varkan delegate leaned forward, its claws tapping sharply on the table, a clear sign of irritation. You claim to be disciplined, it said, but every time a challenge is presented, your calm is stretched to breaking. How can the Council trust you with responsibility when you are so fragile? Lucas remained seated, his hands folded, his expression neutral. Discipline is not fragility, he replied calmly. It is the ability to act deliberately even when challenged. Humans do not react without purpose. We respond with reason and clarity, not instinct. That is our strength, and it is not fragile. Trivan hissed sharply. We can see the tension. You are close to snapping. Why do you not resist the pressure? Lucas tilted his head slightly. Because control is a tool. You cannot measure it, but it is powerful. You will see its full effect when humans choose to remove it. The aliens exchanged nervous glances. They had assumed humans were patient, yes, but they had no idea that patience could hold against such continuous provocation for so long. The air in the chamber seemed heavy, charged with a quiet energy the aliens could feel but not understand. Leela Turner whispered to Lucas, "The sensors are showing unusual readings. It is not anger, it is focus, presence, strength. They cannot measure it." Lucas nodded. "They will understand soon. Patience has limits, but it is not weakness. They will see what happens when those limits are reached." The Council began pressing harder. Aliens made personal remarks, insulting humans' history, their culture, even their physical appearance. The Varkans suggested that humans were small and weak, incapable of defending their worlds. The Yelvar implied that humans' entire civilization was fragile and would collapse under proper stress. Lucas responded each time with calm, precise words, never raising his voice. But his words were sharper now, cutting through alien arguments like a blade. He spoke clearly, exposing flaws in their logic, inconsistencies in their claims, and weaknesses in their assumptions. The room began to change. Aliens who had been mocking humans grew quiet. The floating light orbs flickered nervously. Even the Varkan delegate, usually arrogant and unyielding, seemed tense. Something in the humans had shifted. The calm was no longer just civility. It carried weight, authority, and power. Maya Collins whispered to Leela, "They can feel it now. The human's presence, it is different, stronger, focused, deliberate. The room is full of it." Leela nodded, her eyes wide. "It is happening. The humans are about to show what they can do when civil mode ends. They cannot measure it, they cannot control it, and soon they will see the consequences." Lucas stood slowly, his movements deliberate and smooth. Every alien in the chamber felt a subtle but undeniable shift in the air. It was not fear but awareness, an awareness of power restrained for so long that its release would be absolute. "Council delegates," Lucas began, his voice calm but carrying weight no microphone could produce, "you have tested humans for days, expecting us to fail. You have assumed weakness, you have assumed impulsiveness. You have underestimated endurance, intelligence, and strategy. Today you will see what humans are capable of when restraint ends, not through anger, not through chaos, but through clarity, purpose, and precision." The aliens froze. Even President Varlon's 4 eyes widened slightly. For the first time, they felt the humans as more than physical beings. They felt strategy, focus, and deliberate control radiating from every word, every movement, every glance. Leela whispered, "It is beginning. They are turning it off. Civil mode is ending." Lucas continued, his tone calm but piercing. "You may not understand what you are about to witness. Humans are patient, cooperative, and disciplined. But patience is a choice and discipline is a tool. When that choice ends and the tool is removed, what remains is calculated power, precision, Efficiency, purpose, clarity, that is humanity. The first effect was subtle. Alien delegates noticed small details. Eyes sharpened. Fingers relaxed from fidgeting. Voices lowered. The chamber grew quieter as if the air itself recognized the shift. Trivan hissed nervously. What is this? This is not anger, but what is this presence? Lucas smiled faintly, still calm, still composed. It is clarity. It is control without pretense. It is the human mind functioning at its full capacity, without filters, without restraint. This is the level of discipline you have never seen, and yet it is natural to us. Even the Varkan delegate seemed unsettled. Its claws tapped slower, its posture less aggressive. The light orbs quivered. Every alien present could feel the weight of deliberate thought, careful observation, and intelligent strategy pressing outward, subtle but undeniable. Maya Collins leaned closer to Leela. They can feel it. Every species here is sensing human capability. They cannot measure it. They do not understand it. They are nervous, even scared. Leela nodded. Yes, and it is not over yet. This is just the start. When humans act without restraint, clarity becomes power, and every word is precise and unavoidable. Lucas gestured to a hollow projection in the center of the chamber. We will demonstrate, not with violence but with reason and strategy. Observe how humans analyze, correct errors, and plan with precision. Observe how we respond to provocation without faltering. Observe how patience and clarity combine to create solutions others cannot even imagine. For hours, the session became a demonstration. Every challenge, every insult, every attempt at provocation by the aliens was met with calm, deliberate responses. Every human delegate spoke with precision, pointing out logical flaws, inconsistencies, and errors without attacking anyone personally. The chamber seemed almost hypnotized by the clarity of human reasoning. The council president finally spoke, his voice low. Lucas Hayes, your people, this is unlike anything we have ever witnessed. Your calm, it is not simple restraint. It is force without aggression. We feel it, but we do not understand it. Lucas smiled gently. You are beginning to understand. Humans endure, not through violence or intimidation, but through clarity, strategy, and discipline. Patience is a choice. Strength is applied carefully. And the combination is something the galaxy has never seen. The effect was immediate. Some alien delegates visibly leaned back in their seats. Some whispered nervously to each other. Even the older, experienced delegates were unsettled. They had observed humans for decades, but they had never felt the weight of unfiltered human capability radiating from calm, polite faces. Leela whispered, "Tomorrow, they will see what happens when restraint is gone completely. This is just the first wave." Lucas nodded. Yes. Today they felt the edge. Tomorrow they will experience the truth. Civil mode is no longer necessary. Humanity can act without filters, and the galaxy will understand what it means to underestimate us. The session ended, but the council chamber was forever changed. Alien delegates left cautiously, whispering in groups, unsure what they had witnessed. Some tried to rationalize it as clever strategy. Others feared it. All new humans were not to be underestimated. Outside the chamber, the human team walked along the observation deck. Stars stretched endlessly across the sky, and the hub of neutral planets glimmered below. Maya said softly, "They can sense it, but they cannot explain it. They have never encountered anything like this before." Lucas looked at her. "They will. One day they will remember this session. They will feel it again, even if they cannot describe it. That is the gift of humanity: endurance, intelligence, and clarity under pressure." Leela added quietly, "Tomorrow, the full release. They will see what happens when patience ends." "They will not forget it." Lucas nodded. "Yes, humanity endures, humanity survives, and humanity will never be underestimated." The three humans left the observation deck, moving quietly, deliberately, as if nothing had happened. Aliens watched them, sensing something they could not measure, feeling strength they could not name. For the humans, it was just another day. Calm, deliberate, and precise. But beneath the surface, limitless potential waited. Precision, clarity, strategy. The power of unrestrained human thought, finally recognized. And soon, the galaxy would witness it fully. The council chamber was unusually quiet when the human team arrived. Alien delegates moved slowly, their whispers muted, as if even the air itself recognized the change. After days of testing patience, observing discipline, and feeling the quiet presence of humanity, today the council would see the full measure of what humans were capable of. Lucas Hayes walked in with the calm confidence that had unsettled the entire chamber. Beside him were Leela Turner, Maya Collins, and the rest of the human delegates. Their faces were neutral, but the energy in the room was different, steady, strong, deliberate. President Varlon's 4 eyes swept across the humans. "Lucas Hayes," he said, "yesterday you showed presence. Today we expect action. Do not disappoint us." Lucas's voice was calm but firm. "President Varlon, humans do not act without reason. Today we will show clarity, strategy, and precision. You have seen patience. Now you will see what lies beyond it." The council erupted in murmurs. Alien delegates glanced at each other, uncertain. They had felt the human civil mode weaken yesterday. Today, the calm was still present, but there was a tension beneath it. It was not anger. It was intelligence unrestrained, presence unhidden. The Varkan delegate leaned forward, claws clicking sharply. "We do not believe words. Show us what humans are truly capable of. You have remained patient. What happens when patience ends?" Lucas smiled faintly. "Patience does not end in chaos. It ends in clarity. Observation becomes precision. Restraint becomes strategy. Focus becomes action. Watch carefully and you will understand." The session began. Aliens immediately tried to provoke again, as they had for days. The Yelvar questioned human reasoning in trade disputes. Trivan mocked human history, insisting it was filled with failure. The Varkan implied that humans were too small and weak to influence galactic affairs meaningfully. But this time, the humans did not respond in the same way. They spoke calmly, but their words carried undeniable force. Every argument was answered with precision, every flaw in logic exposed without insult, every inconsistency highlighted with facts. The chamber could feel it. It was invisible, silent, but impossible to ignore. Leela whispered to Lucas, "They can sense it. Every delegate in the room is feeling something stronger than yesterday. Civil mode is completely off." Lucas nodded. "Yes, this is the moment they finally understand. Humans do not need to raise voices or strike fear. Clarity, precision, and purpose speak louder than any weapon." The council president looked uneasy. "Explain it, Lucas Hayes. What is happening? How do you maintain calm while making such impact?" Lucas's expression remained calm, his voice deliberate. "Control and reason. Humans endure because we control ourselves, even under extreme pressure. Civil mode is restraint. When removed, thought becomes strategy, observation becomes foresight, and patience becomes force. What you feel is not aggression. It is the full capacity of unrestrained human intelligence and coordination." Aliens murmured nervously. They had never seen anything like this. Some whispered that humans were being deceptive. Others admitted quietly that they had underestimated humanity in every way. The room was tense, charged with something beyond measure. Then Lucas directed the council's attention to the holographic table at the center. Projections of galactic trade routes, defense networks, and diplomatic agreements appeared. Each projection was analyzed and corrected in real time. Small errors in alien logic were pointed out. Gaps in strategy were highlighted. Every response was calm, precise, and deliberate. Maya Collins leaned slightly toward Leela. "They are showing them how humans think without filters. Every decision, every observation, every correction is deliberate and clear." Leela nodded, her eyes wide. It is overwhelming. The council does not know how to respond. They feel presence, strength, and intelligence but cannot name it. Lucas's voice carried through the chamber, quiet but undeniable. Look closely, council members. Observe how humans operate. We do not attack. We do not dominate. We think. We analyze. We plan. We endure. We act with precision when the moment demands it. This is what you have never seen. The effect was immediate. Alien delegates froze, their postures shifting. Even the Varkin, normally arrogant and combative, leaned back in its seat. The floating light orbs flickered nervously. Every alien present sensed the human's intelligence and strategy as a tangible force. It was not physical, but it pressed upon them, undeniable and powerful. Trivan hissed nervously. This is not normal. How do humans carry this presence without moving? Without attacking, Lucas smiled slightly. Because true power does not need display. Restraint is deliberate. When restraint is removed, what remains is clarity, purpose, and precision. You are witnessing humans at full capacity, not violent, not chaotic, but complete in thought and action. The chamber went silent. Alien delegates whispered, unsure how to explain what they were experiencing. Some tried to rationalize it as clever argumentation. Others felt fear they could not name. Every delegate recognized, without knowing why, that humans were unlike any species they had faced. Leela whispered to Maya, "Tomorrow, they will finally understand why humans survive against all odds. Today, they see precision. Tomorrow, the galaxy will see capability." Lucas nodded. Yes, today, clarity. Tomorrow, full recognition. Humanity's civil mode is gone. Strategy and intelligence operate without restraint. This is why humans are never underestimated. The council session continued with intense observation. Every alien challenge was met with calm, deliberate reasoning. Mistakes in logic were highlighted, weaknesses in strategy were corrected, and inconsistencies in argument were exposed without insult. No voice rose. No one attacked, yet the chamber could feel the pressure of intelligence so precise it was almost physical. President Varlon finally leaned back, clearly unsettled. "Lucas Hayes, your people, we have underestimated you. We can feel it. We cannot explain it, but it is undeniable. Humans are unlike any species in the galaxy." Lucas's expression remained calm, his tone gentle but commanding. "You are beginning to understand. Humans endure because we control ourselves. We survive because we adapt. We thrive because we combine intelligence, patience, and clarity. What you feel is not power used in anger. It is power used in thought. That is why humans endure. That is why humans are never defeated when they choose to act." The council delegates left the chamber slowly, some still whispering nervously. Others glanced back at the humans, unsettled by the experience. For the first time, every delegate realized that patience, intelligence, and strategy could be far more formidable than violence or weapons. Outside, the human team walked along the observation deck, overlooking the neutral star hub. Stars stretched endlessly across the sky. The planets below sparkled, reflecting the quiet but undeniable energy of the humans above. Maya said softly, "They felt it today, but they do not understand it. They have never encountered anything like this before." Lucas looked at her, eyes reflecting the distant stars. "They will. One day they will remember this session. They will feel it again even if they cannot explain it. This is the gift of humanity, endurance, clarity, and the power to act when needed." Leela added, "Tomorrow they will see why humans are never to be underestimated. Today you showed them strategy and precision. Tomorrow it will be full recognition." Lucas nodded. "Yes, humanity survives, humanity endures, humanity is never weak, and humanity will never be underestimated." The human team moved quietly along the observation deck, leaving the council chamber behind. Alien delegates watched them, sensing something powerful, something precise, something they could not measure. They could not name it, but they knew it was dangerous to underestimate it. Inside the chamber, the council members gathered privately. Varlon's 4 eyes scanned the room. "We have never faced anything like humans," he said quietly. "They are calm, precise, and deliberate, and yet we can feel power in them we cannot measure. We have underestimated them for too long." Other delegates nodded. "Yes," one said. "Patience, intelligence, endurance, they have turned restraint into strength. We have never seen a species operate like this. We cannot compete without losing." Another whispered, "It is terrifying. They do not even need weapons to dominate. Their minds alone, it is enough to control outcomes. They survive because they think. They thrive because they endure. They are unstoppable when they choose to act." Outside, Lucas and his team looked at the stars, reflecting on the session. They had shown patience, intelligence, and clarity. They had revealed the full measure of human capacity without violence, without force, only through deliberate strategy and reason. The council would remember it forever. Leela whispered, "They will never forget this session. They have felt the edge of human capability today, and tomorrow the galaxy will understand fully." Lucas smiled faintly. "Yes, humanity survives, humanity endures. And humanity will never be underestimated." The humans turned and left the observation deck, moving quietly but confidently. The aliens watched, sensing power, strategy, and clarity they could not measure. They felt it in every word, every movement, every calm decision. The galaxy had seen patience. The galaxy had felt clarity. And soon, every species would understand why humans endure, why humans survive, and why humans are never underestimated. Humans had shown their gift: restraint as strength, calm as presence, patience as power. And the council had witnessed it all. The stars above seemed brighter as the humans departed. For the first time, the council realized that the galaxy would never see another species like humanity again.